I'm Cameron Enns, and my major is youth ministry.
I'm Allie Bach, and I'm an accounting major.
I'm Melissa Hester, and I'm an electronic media major.
I'm Kristen Stahl, and I'm an engineering major.
Probably one of the most impactful times would probably be when we were doing like the Bible time with the kids and seeing them like just really like in tune with the lesson. And,
We had these continuation skits that we
You
did,
guys can get up.
and so the kids would yell out each day what kind of theme they wanted the actors to do it in. So it was always the same lines, but one time the actors had to do it in an opera voice, and another time they had to be dinosaurs.
At the end, we always asked them if they wanted to be prayed for or be prayed with. And then every day we had a group of kids that would always, raise their hands and be like, "Oh, I want prayer." And then by the end, we had quite a few kids that were able to accept the Lord into their heart and just be prayed for in general. So that was probably a good
A few of us just kind of stuck with the kids and played games for 4 hours, and like Alyssa and Allie did crafts with some of the older kids.
Well, there are these.
Alfredo.
There are these, probably, I think it was 3 boys, was the majority of it that turned out to be, that every day they would always get in an argument. And it was like, their life was so dramatic. Like, one little thing, like, I would see one of them just sitting there, like, pouting on the couch, and I'd sit down and be like, "Hey, like, what's wrong?" He's like, "Alberto yelled at me." Like, they're just so upset. I feel bad for laughing, but it's like, they would just get so like emotional about it, and then they would they thought they'd never be friends ever again. But then 10 seconds later, they'd be friends again, and they would just like run around and be happy. But then like a minute later, one of them would be sad and be like, "Oh, Devon yelled at me," and it's like, and then like Devon would walk by like, "I hate you. I'm never gonna talk to you ever again." And it's just like, no, you don't like say those things.
We were at lunch one day eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. We were discussing the crust. Naturally, everybody does that. And I think everyone else was like, "I don't eat the crust. Like, I always picked it up as a kid." And I said that I just always ate it first, so then I was like done with it and I could enjoy the good part. And was it Loilana? Lorilana was sitting with us, and out of nowhere, she was just like, "The crust makes your butt big." And we just started laughing. So
And then all the other girls
hard.
started chiming in. They're like, "Yeah, it makes your butt big."
So
And
we
we were
had
just
no
like,
idea.
"What?" It's not a proven fact. Like, there's no way.
Yeah, apparently in Alaska it is.
The first night we got there was Friday night, and it was just a fun time to get to know each other and let our walls down. We got the cops called on us.
We were sitting parked, and then a few people had gone up the little hiking area to see the northern lights better, and this woman just comes out. I think she lived really close to the parking area, and she took a picture of one of the girls and then the front license plate and the back license plate, and just said that she was calling the cops, and then she left.
Yeah.
So we
So
hopped
then
in
we
our cars
left.
and
And then we left.
We weren't about to see the cops.
I didn't notice any like Alaska differences.
They wore a lot of fur.
There was.
And we were really jealous. Us guys were so jealous.
Yeah.
We wanted the fur like none other.
Yeah, we went to the start, like the ceremonial start of the Iditarod race in downtown Anchorage on Saturday, which was awesome, but there was a ton of fur everywhere.
Never
Yeah.
seen more in my life.
No.
Yeah. And they sold it like, it was really weird because they sold it on like vendors on the side of the street, and there'd be like full pelts of like the animal just like hanging there. There wasn't really a culture shock because it
Just
was,
nature shock.
yeah.
Nature
It
shock.
It was a lot like Minnesota.
Yeah, except
Like
for
weather-wise.
mountains. It was like
And
mountain
mountains, yeah,
shock.
a little different.
I mean, one morning we woke up and opened the curtains, and there was a moose 10 feet outside our window, so that was really exciting and
We took
surprising.
We almost didn't.
Got it.
We
Yeah,
did.
when we were driving to Eileen's house.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was
I think the way that we just all worked together was a big thing. I think we all brought different things to the table.
I just really appreciated the scenery and just the beauty of the mountains.
It was just fun to see the kids really interact with that, and they got pretty involved, so.
And so we just kind of all found our niche and like just fit in, and I think God just really worked through us well by just like giving us organized places even just naturally.
I'm exhausted.
But
No, that's good.